G'day everybody, welcome back to the workshop. TF Custom Shaving Brushes. How are we all doing this afternoon? All good, I hope? Hope you've had a good start to the weekend, Saturday. Let me just pull up the chat screen here, see what's going on. Razor, you're in here, mate. Good on you, buddy. How are you? I see you got that brush off to me, so yeah, I'll have a look at that once it gets back, mate. I've got your other one sitting there on the table too. I'll organise that with you over the weekend, mate, maybe tomorrow or something, and I'll put that in a bag on Monday, if that's alright. Just drop that music down just a tad. There we go, that should be a better balance now. I think I've got all the sound levels back to how I should have them. So tonight I'm just going to be turning a handle. I've got another customer that wants a handle for himself and a handle for his son, so this one will be his son's one. It's a different shape. It's a shape very similar to one that I've done for Sam O'Rafferty, but Sam's one was done with burl on top and clear down the bottom with very fine blue spirals in it. So this one's going to be a solid colour one. This is sort of like an orange and a charcoaly black through it. So that's what this one's going to be. But there's a couple of things I'm going to show you tonight. Normally I turn on my brushes by eye, and I've always found that that's sort of the best way I've found to do it, because I've got a fairly good eye for things that look right and don't look right. But I've got another device here that a lot of people may have not even seen, so I'm going to actually show that tonight. And it's one that if I ever have any doubts, it's one that I normally pull out. I don't use it a lot, but I pull it out and I'll just check things with that. So it's quite a good little tool. I had never seen one before. I've seen tools in a similar, but none that actually work like this tool does. So I'm going to show you that, and I'll demonstrate it on this particular blank, and I might demonstrate on one or two other things just to show you how it all works. But it's basically worked on the golden ratio rules and Fibonacci. And if you want to read more about it or find out more about it, get onto Google and just type in the golden ratio and Fibonacci. The golden ratio is Fibonacci, but Fibonacci will pop up in the Google search as well if you look under golden ratio Fibonacci, and it explains it. It's quite in depth because it's all mathematical, but simplified. I've got it in a tool here, and I'll show you how that tool works on this blank. I'll demonstrate on this blank, and I'll show you on something else as well. Architects work to these rules as well when they're designing buildings and stuff, so it's interesting. Like I said, I had never heard about it before until I went to a wood turning demonstration, and it was a fella by the name of Theo Haralumpa that actually mentioned it, discussed it and talked about it at his demonstration, and then I looked into it and I found out more about it, and then I managed to find out where I could buy the tools, so I bought one of these tools. But anyway, I'll show you that very shortly, because I'll use that to actually set this blank up for this handle, and that'll let you see it in use as well. So we'll just give it a couple of minutes till we see if anybody else comes in. Sounds good? Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I mean, I check all the videos back, Razor, after I've streamed them. I check them all back just to see how the sound levels are. The other night when we had that issue where we had the crackling, it actually came through on the YouTube video, but there was no crackling there. So I don't know whether it's maybe just something to do with your volume that was maybe playing up, or something wasn't right. But yeah, it's the video actually played through and the sound was great all the way through the video. So I'm not quite sure. It might have been that track. I know there is a track on there that's got a bit of noise in it, and it does sound like it's a bit distorted and a bit scratchy, but it's actually the song. It's not even the recording of that song, it's actually the song, it's in the track actually. But that's good, it's sounding good at your end, that's great. We'll just give it a little bit, just see if we get any more in the stream. I'm still going to plan with the PNC limited edition brushes. I'll be finishing off them probably tomorrow, and then hopefully I should be able to get them in the post to Surjan at Rhodium either Monday morning or Tuesday at the latest, but I'm hoping Monday I can get them off to Surjan, and then he'll have a little bit of work to do on them to fit the Rhodium knots in them, so hopefully that all goes well. So we're getting closer and closer. Yeah, I think, like I said, I think there was one track, mate, that was just a bit, I know it sounds a bit distorted, a bit funny, but it's actually the track itself, so it could have been that track. I mean, there's a whole list of tracks in there that I put as the background music to the lives. But I know that there, like I said, there is one that's pretty bad, but it's on a random, so it doesn't even just it doesn't play them all in the same order all the time. So you'll hear some songs and some lives that you won't hear in others, and it's just because of where they play in the random process. Makes it a little bit less repeatable and boring doing it that way. Yeah, well, they're going to love those Rhodium knots, as you found out with your one. But like I say, we'll get that sorted for you anyway. I done another couple the other night, as you've probably seen in that stream, but I'm not going to do anything with them now. I'm going to put them aside. I'm not happy to put something out that's not quite right. It needs to be 100%. So I'm actually looking more into that now, and I may end up stabilising all my timbers instead of trying to seal them up with CAs and acrylic paints and stuff. I might actually stabilise the timbers, the barrels in resin first. It's just another process that you've got to go through, and it's a timely process as well, because it's going to be done over a period of 2 or 3 days, or as long as it takes to get the moisture out of the timber. You've got to heat it, you've got to dry it out, and then I've got to soak it in a resin, and then put it under vacuum in the resin, and then basically once it comes out of that, you let it soak again for a period, and then once that's done and you're happy that the blank is saturated, then you've got to take the blank out, throw it in the oven, bake it for so many minutes at 180 or 190 degrees or whatever it is, and then bring it out and then cast it. So I'm going to trial that. I'm going to trial the stabilising on a couple of pieces that I've already got pre-cut. I'm going to try stabilise it. The big issue that I have at the moment is that the stabilising resin is hard to get in Australia. So you've either got to bring it in from America. There is one supplier in Australia that deals with the stabilising juice. It's a special stabilising juice, and it does come in from America. He carries stock of it here, but every time I go on and check and see if he's got it, he's always out of stock. So it's kind of hard to get the stabilising resin here. That's why I was hoping to try and stay away from it, but it looks like I'm probably going to have to definitely go down that path. Even although I'm pressure casting the timber and the resin, it looks like it's still going to have to be done under stabilisation. So I'll have to be playing around with that one for a little while, mate, but we'll get something sorted out for sure. Alright, well I think we might get cracking. I'm seeing three in the live at the moment, so that'll be obviously yourself, and there's 4. We've gone up to 4. So no doubt some of the guys, the regular guys that normally drop in, no doubt some of them will drop in shortly. and introduce themselves in the chat, and then we can move on. So this tool I was going to talk about, I mean, I'll still go through all this because people will be able to watch it in the chat later on. So that's the tool. I might change to camera 2 actually. So that's the tool. As you can see, it's a fairly nice piece of kit. It's all stainless steel, lock nuts, nicely machined. It's Soren Berger is the guy that actually manufactures them, or has them manufactured, and I believe he's based in New Zealand, but he spends a lot of time travelling all over the place. He's into wood turning and all different stuff like that. But the idea with this caliper is that basically, if you've got a size that you want to make something, basically what you can do is you can open up the calipers, and what it does is it does the maths for you when it comes to the golden ratio and the Fibonacci. And basically, if I wanted to make something that was very pleasing to the eye, this size here, the bigger size, this size from here to here, would be, say if I wanted to make a vase, say, and say I wanted to have a top section on the vase, like the neck of the vase or whatever, well then I would use it in that orientation, and from the base of the vase to the neck of the vase would be this dimension here, and then from there to there would be the neck dimension. So it sort of calculates that out for you automatically by spreading that apart, and it keeps the golden ratio in place. Now you can also do it the other way. So what you can say, well, okay, well I'll do that for the height of the vase, but the base of the vase should be that size, and that'll make the base look proper to the eye in relation to the height of the vase. And you can use this for anything. You could use it for the size of a bowl, and so you would set the diameter of the bowl to these points here, and then the height of the bowl should be those points there. But it also works in one axis. So for examples, this blank I've got in here, I'm going to make that handle 70mm long, okay? So if I set my calipers here, measuring from, let me go to the overhead camera and see if that's any better. There we go. So if I measure 70mm from this point to this point, because that's the overall height of my handle that I want, and if I set that to 70mm, so I'm just squeezing that in until I get 70mm, and that's pretty darn close. So what that's telling me now is it's telling me that there's the top of my handle, there's the base of my handle, say it's 70mm, and it's telling me that the detailed section, to make this handle look right, the detailed section up top needs to be that dimension. So it works everything back to the golden ratio, and if I stick to that, and that's how I make this handle, then it should actually look pleasing to the eye. Now most things are worked out with these numbers most of the time, and it doesn't matter what you're talking about, whether it be a building or whether you're designing something. So if I just get for examples, just to show you, if I get my wallet out and say I'll get one that's not so thingy. So for examples, there's my EB World gaming card, right? Now if I sit that there and I take the length of that card, so there you are with the calipers. So that caliper's measuring the length of that card. Now if I go like that way. Oh, sorry, I'm not catching that in the camera. Let me try, see if I can get this. Let me just move that camera. It's really this. Give me 2 seconds. I just want to show you this because it's quite interesting how it calculates it all out. Might be boring you to tears, but it's interesting when you actually read up about it and how it all works. And this is just to sort of show you that. So there's the card. I've set those calipers to there, right? So you can see the calipers are the length of the card. Now to keep that card looking right as a card, and this is what I was saying about it doesn't matter, most things are designed around these principles, whether you like it or you're not. And as you'll see there, the caliper is exactly the same size as the width of the card that way. So we set that and that, and then we set, and that automatically sets that. So it's quite interesting. So if you want to find out more about it, like I said, type into Google the golden ratio rules, and it should bring up the golden ratio rules, but it should also bring up some stuff about Fibonacci. And if you want to learn more on it, I just find it interesting that numbers like that play an important part in what's pleasing to the eye. So coming back to my blank now, just to show you one other thing here. So if I set that up, sorry, overall it was. So there we go. So that's my top section, that's my bottom section. No, wrong camera, 3. So that's how that'll work. But if I also then take this dimension here will tell me that to keep that pleasing to the eye as far as shape, that width of the blank needs to be that dimension. So if I take the caliper now and I put it that way, and you'll see that it's exactly the width of that blank. So it's interesting how it all works out. But anyway, I've already put a couple of marks on here, so I'm just going to go with them now. Just make sure that that's on, it's all tight. So just something different for the start of the stream, eh? Okay, let's get moving with this. Alright. So I'm just going to do my usual. I'm just going to trim up the end of this blank before we start. Now this handle's going to be set with a 30mm Tuxedo. So a nice big soft Tuxedo. Okay, let's get started, eh? I've also sharpened up my tools for tonight because they were a bit blunt from the other day. So I've sharpened them up, and I've also changed this carbide cutter around to one of the other edges as well. So you can see this carbide cutter has 4 edges on it. All I've got to do is loosen that Allen key, that screw, and then turn the blade around to the new one. Still got a little bit there on this edge to clean up. I think that tool is still a little bit too high. Have a look at that, see how we're going. Yeah, we've still got a little bit to clean up yet. Still a little bit. I'm still here, it's not quite cutting smooth yet. Getting closer. Still a little bit. Better. Yep. Much better. There's one or two little scrapes and then we're done. G'day Catman, how you doing? Okay, now if I look at my marks now, that's going to pick up next, and then I'll drill the hole. So I'm going to be going about there for the top section, there for the bottom section, so what I'm going to do now is just put the fastener bit in, and I'm going to do it's a 30mm knot, and I'm going to go in with a 28mm fastener bit, because the next one up is too big. So I'm just going to go in with this, and then I'll take the rest out with the skew. Brett, how you doing? So I'm just going to start this nice and carefully and slowly, so we keep it on centre. I'm just going to take a little bit out, then we'll reset the tool to 0 on the gauge. Bring it in till it just meets the end of the blank, and then I'll take that in about 15mm to start with. probably gone just a little tad too fast still. That's better. That's about 13, 14, and that's us just over the 15. Take the tailstock off for a minute. And I'm just going to bring the tool rest down round in that orientation. So I'm just going to measure this, and then I'll set my other calipers to, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that about 31 to start with. So I'll set the calipers to 31. And then I'll see how that goes. Just lift that a bit higher. So I'm just going to use the calipers to give me my mark on the end here, so that I know where I've got to go in with my skew. And I'm going to just leave that at that. And that's where I'm going to go in. Just take that back a bit, just down a tad. And I'm going to speed that up a bit. That's lovely there. Check the loft. So that's sitting about 57. And I think that's, I mean, these things have so much backbone in them, eh? So I'm going to let that set at 57. I'm going to leave that there, so that'll be us. And that's quite a nice fit. It's not choking the knot. I mean, I could probably take it out to 32, but I think that's fine at 31. That'll do that. Because I really don't have a lot of blank left to play with on this for what I'm trying to do with the design, so I'm going to have to be fairly careful with this one. Okay, so I'm going to start shaping the top of this a little bit. I might just move that in that way a touch, like that. Okay, that's fine, I'm happy with that. Alright, so we're there, so we've got probably closer to 16 there, and we've got about 26, 27 to there, so that's alright. So I'll bring the tailstock back in with a little bit of support. Bring that, make sure I've got room there. And that should hold that nicely. Position the tool rest, and then I'm going to go in on that mark now, just slightly higher than that mark. And then I'm going to go in here as well. Bring the tool rest back a touch. Nigel, how are you, buddy? Oh, the streamers are painful. Right, I think we're getting close there. It's not too bad. Now I just need to have a look at this photograph because I'm doing this from memory at the moment. So a small ring there, down to a V and then into the handle. Okay. the edge off that one. It's nice and brown now. Just take that. And that. Thanks for dropping in, Nigel. How's your day been, mate? How's your weekend going? What's that, please? Take that back and then drop it into the handle. Okay, we're getting there. Have a look, see how that's looking. You probably need to go in a little bit more. Okay, now we're time for the carbide. Brett. Is this, g'day Grey Dog, how are you, buddy? Brett, is this, is that the Brett that's buying two handles? Two brushes? This resin's a lot harder than the previous ones that I've turned, so I've got to be careful that it doesn't want to grab and pull the tool in. Okay. Yeah, so it is Brett. It's Brett that's ordered too. So this is Brett's son's. This is Brett's son's handle. You need to keep that quiet between you and me because I believe it's a birthday present, I think. So. So you can start seeing it taking shape now. If I just flick these over to that camera, you'll see it a little bit better. And I'm also just going to start, well actually what I've got to do, before I get too carried away, is I've got to put a little bead on the bottom of this handle. I'm going to use one of these tools. I'm going to use one of these tools that puts a bead on. To clear that so I can see when I hit the mark. I just want to check that dimension. Yep. So go back in, just refine the bead a little bit now. Still a little flat spots there, so we'll keep going with that till we get it round. I think we're almost there now. Just a little flat spot. If I go to the overhead, there's just a little flat spot just there, as you can see. The camera picks that up. Sort of like a shiny bit in this round band here. And then there's, well, that's all pretty good there, there's a little touch there, so just a touch more and we've got it. I'd say it would be pretty much there now. That's all round. Just a tiny little bit there. And a tiny little bit there, so just a tad more. Still a little bit. You have to be close there now. It's just a tiny little touch there, but I think that'll come in with the, oh, I'll hit it again. It's just a tiny little bit. Okay, now I need to have a look at this picture because I'm trying to make up my mind whether it's got another bead from there. I don't think it has. I think it's just the okay, so I'm going to pull that out now, take that tool rest up, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of a V on this upper edge here, on that little bead. Just take that edge off. And we'll do that, I think, for now. I'm just going to bring that into that bead now. See, I've got to be careful I don't go too far in that bead. So I might straighten that out with a different tool now. With this one a little bit. Don't want that shadow. That's good. round this out a little bit more in here. Very light cuts. Trying to get a better view of this from up top, just to see if I've got my proportions right, shape right. Might take us to that one now, let you see it from the side. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that. So I'm just tweaking the shape a little bit now, and tweaking those little raised areas. Still need a little bit more on that one to balance out with the other one. That's better. Just get rid of this rubbish. And I'll flick you back to that shot. And there's the finished result so far. Just got to clean that up a little bit. There's still a couple of little rough spots in there where the tooling's not quite smooth enough, so I'll go in there again and just give that very light touch just to try and straighten it up a bit. get rid of the little high spots that are there. Just getting rid of those ones. Just got a little tiny one up there now. Almost gone, right on that line there. Just a little tiny touch. Gone. That's what we want. Jeez, what a best salmon. Look at me. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, yeah. It's me. Okay, so there we have the let me remove this for a minute. Just going to sand it up and detail it up now. But I can look down on the top of that, and so can you. Those marks that you're seeing in there are just they'll come out with the sanding. You've got the nice rolled bead on the bottom. Might actually take a tiny tad off that, just slightly wider than this rim here now, this one. Take a slight tad off that. I'm going to leave that one as it is because that should round over nicely. So I might just give that a very, very little light touch. You won't need the tail stop, just tiny, tiny touch on this. Need that out a bit. So all I'm doing here is just playing a balancing act and just getting that lip that I'm working on now the same as the lip on the top one, and that's much better. And just a tiny touch more. And I think that'll do that. That's better, I'm happy with that now. So move that out of the way. Slow it down. Actually, I'll stop it for now. Get some of these shavings away. Those streamers are so light, some of them, you know, like I've got them on my hand here, they just stick to you, you know, like they're so light, they just float around in the air. Okay, so I'm reasonably happy with that. I'm just going to sit the knot in there now and see how it's looking. Oh, mighty damn fine, I'd say. Mighty damn fine. What do you reckon of that, Brett? You happy with that? So it'll get parted off. It'll get parted off just. Actually, let me go to the go to that shot. That's where I'm going to part it off. So it's a nice handle that you're going to, it's going to be nice in the hand, nice length. It's about 70mm, which is what I planned it out as. Yeah, so probably just a tad under 70mm length for the handle, and I've set the knot at about 57, and I think that should be quite nice. I mean, these have got so much backbone in them, it'll still whip up a mean lather pretty quickly, nice and easily, but it's going to be nice and soft on the face. So you like that shape? Cool. Okay, well, I'm just going to go in there with a parting tool now and just mark the bottom of that raised ring, because that determines my my overall length. I'm not going to take a lot of material off it until I sand it all, but that'll just give me a definite mark that that's the bottom of the handle. And I'll turn this up a bit, bring that out just a tad. Needs a bit more speed. And I'm going to go in right on that mark. And if I can clear some of that shaving out. Can't see. That'll do it, I think, and then I'll get over sanding that now. Ugh. Okay. Some of these tools out the way. Nice. Okay. Let's do a little bit of sanding now. It's a tricky one to sand because there's a lot of detail in it. And I'll leave the bead until the end because I can get it up this end much easier. But I'll do all these ones for now. Grey Dog, I'm starting on that. I'm actually starting probably lower than I would normally. That's 240 I'm starting at. And then I'll take it up to 600 grit, and then I'll hit it with a microfine abrasive paste, and then from there I'll then go to micromesh, wet and dry. Oh, sorry, wet. Sorry. I mean, I could probably even start the grit slightly higher, because I'm getting a fairly nice flat finish straight off the tool. So I could probably start higher in grit, but yeah, it's what I've always done, so I sort of tend to stick to it, you know. I just take the sharp. I want them to sort of retain their detail, but I just want to take the sharp edge off it. Mr. Stanway, how are you, buddy? Let me go back to there. So I'm just give each grit a little bit of a hand rub too, just to make sure that the scratches are gone, or so I don't have the radial scratches in it from the lathe. But you'll see once I put the microfine sanding abrasive on it, it'll give it a much better finish than the sandpaper does. And then, just like I said, I use the micromesh to take it up really smooth. It's actually a nice strong. It's actually a nice strong orange with a fair bit of shimmer in it, and it's not black. It's like a charcoaly black. It's actually quite nice. You'll see it once I put the microfine sanding abrasive on it. You'll actually see it. You'll see the right colours starting to come out then. Brett, does your son go any of the? Does he go on any of the wet shaving groups or Facebook pages or anything? Because I normally put pictures up of my brushes on there once I've got them finished, but I don't want to. If it's a surprise birthday present for him or that, I don't want to put pictures up on the net for him to see it. Let me know if it's okay to post pickies or if you'd rather I don't. Okay, that'll do that one. Got the next one. getting another little spot of rain on the roof, so you might get a bit of a noise coming through if it gets heavy. I don't think it's going to come too much, I think it's just a little passing shower. Although they are predicting rain for us for tomorrow. Yeah, your green one will be getting done. I'll probably end up doing that one tomorrow, mate. And then I've got to finish off the P&C ones. They're almost ready to be finished, just finished off now. I think I've got one still to turn. Oh, one? Or are they all? I'd need to check. But anyway, they'll all be hoping to have them all finished by tomorrow night. At the latest. Well, I'm hoping to post them to Sarjan on Monday morning, but worst case scenario it'll be Tuesday. But I'm pretty much on track, so I'm hoping that they'll go to him on Monday morning. Once you see me hit this with the microphone, that's when you'll get to see the colours come alive. Okay, next one. Next one. Okay, just give that a little touch up. Alright, that'll do that. Get a little bit of paste down now. So this is when you'll start to see it pop its colours. That's about all we need on it. Clean paper towel. And then we'll just slow the lathe down. It's the slow RPM. So all I'm doing at the moment is I'm just working the microfine paste. It's I was telling the guys the other night, it's got a mix of oils and waxes, and it also has pumice stone in it, and it's the pumice stone that actually does the abrasive sanding, and it just continually breaks down and breaks down and breaks down into smaller grits. So it takes you from something that's, you know, reasonably coarse. I mean, I went to 600 with the sandpaper on this, so it takes you from 600 and takes you up, you know, probably nearer to the micromesh type grade of grit, which is, you know, up in the thousands. I think it starts at 1500 grit with a micromesh. So this takes you up close up to that, and then basically the pads then take over from that, and they take you right up into what is it, 12,000 I think it is. Yeah, 12,000 grit. So it gets pretty fine when you start getting up into those pads. So that's still got a reasonably satiny finish to it, but once we go over it with a micromesh, and then I'll have to hit it with polish, but I didn't get time to get my polish today, so I'm going down to get that tomorrow. So I'll just I'll put it back on and give it a nice polish, and that's when it'll bring the shine up. But we'll get a bit more of a shine on that yet. So yeah, well, I mean, it'll be on my my Facebook page. I'll post the photographs with a little video, and then obviously if you want them to be able to watch this live video, then you'll need to go onto my YouTube channel and just watch it on YouTube. It may take a little while for it to go live on YouTube as well, just because it's got to do what it does to get it up there. But there you can see it. And there's the knot. And if I go to just let me go back there. So yeah, so that's it with a knot in it. And then if I go to camera 2, you'll see it from the side on. So now I'm just going to hit it with the wet pads now, just to refine it, because I can still see some very, very light minor scratches in the resin. So these will take that away, and then the buffing will take anything else that's left away. Just going to keep these wet. Who's playing in the footy tonight, lads? I was getting a little bit of spit of rain before on the tin roof, Nigel, but it's stopped now. It was just a very, very light shower, mate. There's nothing too much in it. Grey Dog, to be honest with you, I use a synthetic, a little synthetic. I've got a Plussoft synthetic brush that I use. I think it's about a 26 or 24 mil Plussoft synthetic knot. I use that as my sort of go-to day to day if I'm in a bit of a rush. I'll use that one because obviously it's just easier for wash up and cleaning after, and I can whip up a lather much quicker. But my preferred knot is the Badger, a good quality Badger. If I've got the time to enjoy the shive, that's what I'll go for every time. And I've got a few Badgers in my den. I got one in from a nice one in some time ago. Actually, it was when we done the last P&C group buy, and they they brought a heap of knots in from America. So I put one of them into a handle. That's probably my preferred one, but I've since tried the rhodium hand-tied knots, and I've made quite a few handles with them now as well, in conjunction with Serjan from Rhodium Knots. They leave all the other ones that I've tried for dead, to be honest. They're just an absolute dream to use. They're fantastic feel. Because the knot's so dense, it's got good backbone. They're just a beautiful knot all round, and a lot of people in America now are starting to clicking onto his knots as well. So you know, he's putting a lot of knots through to America and Europe. I mean, Europe I think was Serjan's. I mean, he'd be able to tell you himself. But I think he used to put a fair bit into Europe with his knots. But yeah, Badger any day if I've got the time to enjoy the shive, that's for sure. So I'm just going to go around this with this pad, so I'll do every second or third pad, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of a sand by hand. Again, just so that we prevent any sort of radial type marks in the handle. Yeah, well, Chris got, I think Serjan sent a couple down to him to try, and he absolutely loved them. But I've yet to find someone that doesn't like a Serjan knot, so he's been around a while, he's been doing them for a fair while, but like I said, the majority of his stuff was going into Europe. And the States, obviously. I think the States is getting, I think they're going to start taking more and more of them, I think, because why wouldn't you when they're such a nice knot? So I've been doing a few collabs with Serjan. You know, he gets some customers that want one of his knots and are looking for a handle, so he'll put them through to me for the handle. And then if I get customers looking for a rhodium knot, then I'll put them on to Serjan, and what I'll do is I might make the handle, and I'll send the handle down to Serjan, and then he'll fit the knot and then send it out to the customer. Well, I know a few people that that have, you know, what they would have deemed at the time as being the best, and even they're saying that Serjan's knots are actually every bit as good, if not better. So when you're sort of talking about those kind of knots, you know, you're talking about the big high-end ones, and that's a good reputation for Serjan to have with his hand-tied knots, for sure. So I do have a couple of Serjan's knots here that I got from him, and I do have to put one of them into a handle for myself at some stage. So I do have one of his, but I just haven't got around to it yet. And you know, I've got about half a dozen brushes in my den at the moment that I use. So I really don't need another one, but I'd be happy to have a rhodium knot in there. So it'll happen, that's for sure. So we're getting there, guys. We're on the fourth last pad for the wet sanding, and then I'll be releasing it from the chuck, turning it around, part it off, drill a recess in the bottom for my maker's mark, and then we'll call it a night. That'll give me time to go in and have a cuppa with the missus, my darling wife. Yeah, I mean the super high density knots, I mean I've been looking at them the last couple of days. I've got a couple of suppliers that do them, and the photographs that they send me are absolute, they look really nice, to be honest. but they won't send you over samples. You've got to pay for them, you've got to buy them. So I've been caught out with other suppliers from China with knots that are, you know, they tell you they're this, they tell you that, and then they send you photographs and you think, oh Jesus, that looks nice, and then they get here and they're just rubbish, you know. So I've been caught out like that before, and I've sort of set myself a rule now where if they want to send me samples, they can send me samples, and if the samples, you know, work and they're up to my standard as to what I want in a knot, then I'll place an order and I'll buy some. But I'm not paying, you know, $100 US dollars to have a couple of knots shipped over for them to be rubbish. So if they want to send me them, they can send me them, and I'll try them, and if I like them, then I'll buy some. But I'm certainly not paying for samples, and that's what they seem to want to do, you know. And like I said, I've been caught out like that too many times before with some of the Chinese suppliers, and never again. Okay, we're on the last micro mesh, so this one takes it up to 12,000 grit, and I think there should be no scratches there after this. And then we go through, do what we've got to do, and then the last thing will be buffing the brush with a little bit of compound, and that'll put the final shine on it till I get my polish tomorrow, and then that'll be that. Now I think, Brett, I think you wanted the brass one in the bottom of this one, didn't you? The antique brass. And then you wanted the antique silver in your one, the green one, yeah? I haven't used a shave Mac, to be honest. I mean, I haven't really tried too many of the other knots because I've sort of always had my own ones and I've done my own thing. And it took me quite a while to find a few good suppliers with repeatable supply and repeatable quality. And I've sort of stuck with them for a long time, but a couple of my customers and people that I know that are pretty well in there with their wet shaving, they've tried Declaration, Shave Mac, Paladin, all those sort of ones, and they say that they've said after they've tried the rhodium, they've said that the rhodium leaves them all for dead. So that's a big statement to make, especially when you've been pretty loyal to those types of knots for many years and regarding them as the best, and then you change to try a rhodium, and then you find that what you've been using was maybe the best at the time, but it's no longer. Okay, so I'm just going to give that a very light dry off now. Yep, I'm happy with that. And she'll pop up more once we get the once we've done the buffing on it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it out this chuck, and we're going to reverse it into my other chuck, and we're going to do the bottom. Just let me check this. Yeah, Brett, it was the antique brush you wanted in the bottom, the maker's mark in the bottom of the brush, in the orange and black brush. Is that correct? And then the antique silver in your one, mate? Look, Grey Dog, I think, look, to be honest with you, you know, they are pretty pricey, but when you compare the price with what the guys are paying for the high-end knots in America, they're pretty fair as far as pricing goes, but they're just a terrific knot. And I mean, you just have to experience it, I guess. I mean, everybody has their own personal taste too, you know, so what I'm telling you, I mean, you got to work it out yourself, I guess. It's not, I'm not trying to get you to buy one. I'm just sort of saying to you that it's one of the best I've ever tried. And I've certainly had a lot of people come back to me and say that they are fantastic. So they're you know, reputable people that I've got a lot of years experience in the wet shaving, and you know, good and bad, and knots and razors, and for them to say that, it really means a lot, you know. So as you can see, I've got it reversed now, so what I'm going to do is I'm just getting set up to part the waste block off the bottom. And I'm just putting that in for a little bit of security, so that because I'm in expansion mode, sorry, let me go back to that overhead shot. Because I'm in expansion mode here with the jaws of the chuck to hold this, I don't want to blow the blank apart by tightening up the pressure. These things put a lot of pressure on the piece. So I've got it nipped up so that I know it's going to hold, and basically then I'm going to come in here and just part this off now. And then that'll separate that. I can tidy up the bottom, put a hole in it for the coin, give it a bit of a final sand, then we can take it, we can buff it before I glue the coin in, and then we'll have one finished brush. So let me just part this off now. So I'm speeding it up, probably sitting on, that's about 1530 RPM, and I'm just going to go in and part that off now. I'll need to make a few cuts because I can't go in too deep, or the tool will bind in the slot, and it'll just with the heat and the friction, and it'll cause it to jam up and probably want to take my hand off. I'll just take it down a little bit at a time until I get down where I need to be, and I'll just slowly part the last off. go, that's it off. Hey, hey, hey. Brett, are you still there? Are you still in the chat, mate? Probably see that one's cutting, that tool's cutting a lot better tonight too. I gave that a quick hit with the diamond card before I started the stream tonight, so you can see I'm getting nice fine shavings off that tonight. I've just taken that out to the edge of that bead that I've got there. I don't want to flatten the bead off, I just want to keep the bead there, but I want it just to be nice and clean and smooth, and that's pretty good. And I think that'll do me, and the rest I'll get with the sandpaper. It's amazing how you can feel the tools getting dull on you, and then, you know, just give it a quick hit with the diamond card and it just brings it back to life. You can hear the difference in the cut, you know. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that piece out. Brett, are you in the chat still, mate? I just need to work out this coin with you, just to be sure that I'm right. I'm pretty sure I am, but I just wanted to check with you if you're in the chat. That the antique brass goes in this one. Pretty sure it is, so actually I might have it still in our chat, so just if I go into there, cancel, inbox, Brett, all the messages, oh there we go, there it was. Yeah, silver for the green one and brass for the orange and black, so that's what we'll go with. So this is getting a antique brass coin put in the bottom. Okay, so we're going to start that up again, nice and slow. We don't want it too aggressive. and I'm just going to go in nice and slow, start the point. And then I'll set that back on 0. I know my coins are 3 mil, so I need to go on 3.5, 4 mil. Walk it off at that. Just want to check that. Yep. So that's the hole drilled for the my maker's mark, and all I'm going to do is just give that little edge just a very slight touch. Oh yeah, just around it. And if I got that right, we should have a very slight hollow in there as well, which we have around this edge here. So now all I'm going to do is just give that a little bit of a sand touch up. So we'll start with the 320, I think. Rounds that off nicely. I'm just going to give that a hand rub. Just going to feel that in my hand. Yep, that's nice. So that was 320. We'll go with a bit of 400, just very, very lightly. That's that. And a little bit of 600, and then we'll give it a hit with the wet. Do that. Just a little touch with the wets now, then we should be pretty much ready to set the knot. Well, I'll give it a quick buff as well, I think, just before we set the knot and do anything else. There's me and my old man noises again. Thanks, Grey Dog. Thanks for joining in, mate. Much appreciated. We'll catch you next time, eh? How's that music going tonight? Oh, okay. I don't know why it's doing that. That's done that before as well, actually. Not the same without music. I like the music when I'm watching the video back just to check everything, and yeah, it just makes it a little bit more pleasant. Okay, that's us done. So, just give these a bit of a squeeze out before I get too carried away. Give it a little dry off. Just drying off the bottom where I've drilled the hole for the maker's mark. Just dry the rest of that. I'll make sure it's nice and dry. That should be nice. Lovely, 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 lovely. I really like that. Okay, time to take it off, right? Let's get this show on the road and finished. There we go. there. Just a touch of nothing copper. Okay, let's get into it. So you can see the recess in the bottom for the coin now, and I've tapered this lip as well so that that'll sit flat and the coin will sit below the surface of the handle, the base of the handle. Done. We'll get in there now and we'll do the bead on the bottom of the handle. Spots to get into tighter areas. This wheel is really starting to get too small for the handles. So sometimes I'm just going to force it in for a groove in the buffing wheel so that it gets into those very, very tight details. Let's get rid of that subscribe button now. There guys, nearly got it buffed, and I'll just glue the coin in, then I'll glue the rod in with a bit of epoxy, 5-minute epoxy, same as that the other night. Now I'm going to try and buff all this blue well. Hard and just stays there. You keep working until you get it out. Starting to see it taking a bit of shine. Yeah, I thought these bits might be difficult to get the buffing compound out because it's fairly tight detail in there. Buff it as much as I can, and then what I'll do is I'll use the polish that I've got to try and take the last out of a paper towel. It just gets in the spots and it's just too hard to get it out. Last one as well. That will always help as well. Knots. Hand tied here in Australia. The only fella that does it here in Australia, as far as I'm aware, hand ties his own knots, badger knots. I checked back on the text, Brett, I saw that you wanted the brass in this one. I mean, either or would look good in this one. As far as the colour. little bit of polish on there, just to try and get that buffing compound out those grooves. Want to come out, this stubborn stuff. Shouldn't be louder than my voice, mate. It should be where it normally is, because I haven't changed nothing. So my voice at the moment, my voice should be louder than the music. How's that now, mate? Is that better? Is that better now, mate? Or is that too loud for my voice now? I hate how you have a delay in these, eh? Right, that's much better. So now I'm just going to go back to the buffing wheel again and just finish that last little bit of buff. Where did I put it there? Got it now, lads. Just having a look around the rims to see, make sure we've got all the polish out, all the buffing compound out of those sharper details in it. See how that goes, mate. Okay, let me just get a little glue board again. Stick a little board in there. Some epoxy. It's lovely. We'll set the knot and set the coin in first. Sit that there, that over there. Still the music down, yeah? Jeez, we're miles away from where we normally are. Music down. Okay, a little bit of a mix. I'm just going to plop a little bit right in the middle there, spread a little bit around to the edge. No, it's the same ones, mate. It's just there's a whole heap of them, and it just I have it playing on random, so it just plays from one tune to the next tune. Okay. Okay, just very quickly get the rest of that into here. It's a 5-minute epoxy, this one, so you've got to go fairly quickly with it. And then what I'll do is I'll grab the knot and I'll just give the knot a little bit of a rough up on the bottom, just so the glue bonds better. It's a fairly rough paper, this one, just to, like I say, rough it up on the bottom. We can put the knot straight in there, give it a little twist around, Then I get my cloth with a little bit of methylated spirits. Just wipe any excess epoxy off the bottom. Make sure the coin is seated properly. Okay. Set that there for now. Let me get rid of them. Get rid of this. The rubbish there. That. So guys, that's us. We're finished. Coin set, knot set, handle turned and polished. Well, buffed I should say. I'll give it a polish when I get my, I'll give it a hand polish tomorrow when I get my Plastic X polish back after the one I dropped the other day. So there we have it. There she is. Just hard to sort of get a decent picture of it. There you go. There it's. It's a lovely, lovely brush. Nice big 30mm Tuxedo. Soft as anything on the tips, but still got plenty backbone in there. Just make sure they're not seed. And there's the maker's coin in the bottom. You can see there, and it's recessed in. So if I hold that to the side, you'll see it disappears below the surface. So it sits on the acrylic nice and flat, but without hitting the coin. And it's pretty much set already. Yeah, there you go, another TF custom shaving brush. So I'll probably end up doing your other one tomorrow, Brett, because I've got 14 other handles to do just to finish off tomorrow, and I'll probably do your one tomorrow as well. So I won't be live streaming that though. I won't be live streaming now until probably Monday, all going well. But I'll put a schedule up on YouTube for it anyway. Just let me go back to one. Yeah, so I'll put a schedule on YouTube for the next live that I'm doing. At this stage I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to be doing, but I'll work something out between now and Monday night. I'm thinking I'm going to stick with a 7 o'clock gig if I possibly can, because I think that's probably a better time. It lets people get in and get the dinner or whatever, get sorted and settle the kids and stuff like that, and then you can settle in the stream. So I'll stick with the 7 o'clock at this point, I think, and we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, that's one brush. I'll take a couple of pictures once I'm finished the stream and I go back inside and have a cuppa. I'll take a couple of pickies of the brush in the light tent, It'll probably look matte in the light tank because the lights tend to diffuse any of the shine and the glare off the handle, but it should look nice anyway. So I'll put them up in a little while. The YouTube video, I'm not sure if the YouTube video goes live straight away or if it takes a while for them to render it and put it up on YouTube. Sometimes they seem to take quite a bit of time to go through. But anyway, that's it for tonight, guys. So once again, thanks very much for dropping in, and thanks for dropping in and you know, having a bit of chat and seeing the brush getting made. And like I said, there's going to be many more, and I'm going to throw in a few other little bits and pieces here and there as well. Just different turnings, rather it's just brushes all the time. I'll maybe throw in bottle openers and maybe a small bowl or something at some stage, maybe make up a wooden lather bowl or something like that. But we'll see how we go anyway. There are things that can be done, and it might just show you, you know, other aspects of the trade and what I do here as well. So anyway, without further ado, guys, I'd just like to thank you. I'm going to shut the shed door down. We'll see you later. See ya. See you guys. Ta-da. Ta-da. Bye.